Hello everybody. Let's talk about economic models of relationships. We're going to present two, and I want to begin. You like the echinacea? They're really pretty this year, especially if you get them in the early morning when the sun's not up yet and they've been watered. Pretty nice. So economic models of relationship, are going to begin with equity theory. This is also discussed in organizational psychology, so if you take that class with me, prepare to see this again. So we're most content with a relationship when the ratio between the benefits and the contributions is similar for both partners. And what does that mean? What it means is, does what I get out of this relationship equal what I believe I put in? And notice perception can distort this. We know that if we ask a couple, hey, what proportion of the housework do you do? One person might present with 30% and the other person might say 80%. One thing we find though is when we ask and we add together the relative contributions, it always goes over 100%. So people tend to overestimate their contributions. So, but that's an aside. When is a relationship considered equitable? When your benefits and your contributions equal the ratio of your partner's benefits and the partner's contributions. So this equality would imply 50-50. This isn't about 50-50 at all. So balance is what counts, right? And the idea is, if you put in 30% of the effort, then you should get out 30% of the payoff or the goodies, right? And that leaves your partner then to put in 70%, but then they should get out 70%. So really, it's not 50-50. What we're looking at is 30 over 30 equals 1, and 70 over 70 equals 1, 1 equals 1. So then this would be considered an equitable relationship. And people strive for equity in relationships, and they often make pretty stringent comparisons in relationships as well. I'm sure you've had those conversations, maybe with your parents and your partners, so it's not uncommon. It can be a romantic relationship, or it could be a roommate, a platonic relationship. Now I want to talk about social exchange theory, and gear up folks, because this represents one of your assignments and we'll call that in at the end here. So what do we know about social exchange theory? Well, Homans et al., a lot of people worked in this area and have expanded it into different areas. I want to talk about it in terms of romantic relationships. Basically, a couple things are going to be measured in this model. It's an economic model. So we're not talking, oh, love. We're talking the hard edge. What am I getting out of this? You know, maybe like it was said in that song, what have you done for me lately? And this is the computation, right? So we measure the costs and the rewards. We measure the comparison level, and I'll get to that in a minute. We measure the satisfaction level, right? The comparison level for alternatives, and the investment, and then finally the commitment. So the idea here, especially as we're going to apply social exchange theory, is that old song, we're going to do song lyrics, should I stay or should I go? And basically, for your assignment, we're going to be talking about this fictitious character, Donna. And Donna is embedded in a relationship. She's been in the relationship for a couple of years. And, you know, it's going okay. But then Donna, you know how it goes. Donna meets someone else. And Donna can't help but think then, you know, wow, should I stay with my current partner, or this new partner is pretty damn attractive? Maybe I should go with them, right? Should I stay or should I go? And we're going to help Donna. We're going to walk her through the calculations using an economic model. So it's not what the heart says, but it's what the hard edge prefrontal cortex, the analysis of cost benefits among other components. So what we're looking at here, the first thing to consider is, what the hell do you get out of the current relationship? What is your rewards? And you might even write a pro and con list. Any of you ever do that? Sit there, boy. Should I go to this college? Should I be with this person? Should I buy this car? Whatever it is. And then you list out the pros in one column, you list out the cons in the other column. You try to assign some value to each, do the math, and then let the economics guide you. So here we have the rewards, right? And with everything, there's costs. So to run through this model, we take the rewards, but we're going to have to subtract out the costs, right? And then we'll see if there's any reward left, or if we're already in the ditch. Now, what else? The comparison level. And when you're with a partner, this partner is a human being. They can't be necessarily your ideal unless you're one of those super rare people. So this is the qualities of my partner, and this is actually my ideal partner. And notice there's a deficit there. There's a difference, right? So the partner doesn't actually equal my ideal. So that difference between ideal and partner has to be subtracted out, and we call that the comparison level, comparing the partner to the ideal. Now, once we do the math, that is, what rewards do I get? You know, what does a person do for me? What does it cost me? What energy do I have to put into it? And then, how far away is this from my ideal? That's going to yield my satisfaction level with this partner at this time. Okay? So we've gotten that far. We've gotten to the satisfaction level. But what we found, and in our example, Donna has met someone else who looks pretty damn attractive. How attractive? Well, what we can do is compare this new potential partner to the ideal. So it's that same comparison, except we're comparing the new person to my ideal. Does the new person seem to be closer to the ideal? That is a smaller deficit than my current partner is to the ideal. And we subtract that difference out from the satisfaction level. If you could operationalize these, remember that word, if you can put the honest God numbers to them. But now we have to consider, we spent a long time. We spent like 2-3 years with our current partner, and we have investments. Maybe we got a dog together, right? Or maybe we bought a house, a car, whatever. We have investments. Maybe this person came to the relationship kind of as a, and I know this is a weird term, but comes as a fixer-upper. If I've invested a lot of time, you know. I wouldn't have shown them to my parents in the first year I knew them, but after I worked on them for a year, they were ready for prime time. I could actually take them to my parents' house and show them off, right? Those represent the investments. And if you walk away from your current partner, remember the investments are gone then. You have to give those investments up. So what you do then, current partner, rewards, costs, and comparison level equals your satisfaction. You look at this new person, you can't know for sure, but they look closer to your ideal, maybe enough to make you willing to try, but you say, oh, but shit, look at all the time I've put into my current partner. Ultimately, once you do the math through all of this, and it's not necessarily easy math to do, you end up with your commitment. And this answers the question, should you stay or should you go, right? So what the heck is Donna going to do? Now, I may be overly optimistic, right? That you find something so interesting and so useful in this course that you want to share it, right, with someone you know. That's the deal, though. Often we learn things in school that kind of excite us, and we say, oh my God, I can't wait to tell someone. And now the burden on you is to explain it in a way that's interesting, but it also allows them to understand it, right? And that's what you're going to practice in this assignment. Their lack of expertise, the explainee, so to speak, right, in this area qualifies them as a lay person. So you took the psychology course, they're in a different area, they don't know what's going on, right? So given their layperson status, you need to be very clear in your explanation of that theory, and the explanation is intended to, as advice. Nothing does better than use of a good example on how to apply the theory. So this is where you're going into the assignment. Your mission is to explain to Donna social exchange theory to help her pick between her current boyfriend and, right, her potential new boyfriend, the alternative. Right? So, assignment checklist, and obviously like all the assignments, this is much more complete on Carmen, but here's what I'm going to be looking for. Help Donna think critically in her important dilemma. Life is all about trade-offs, and you're going to walk her through this economic model to help her make a good decision about the trade-offs. So, what I'm going to be looking for in the assignment, what I want to see is, did you provide Donna with an overview, an introduction to the model, and your purpose for sharing it with her? So that might be something as simple as, hey, I was in class, you know, and I was thinking about you, and all of a sudden, when you know it, the teacher starts talking about this model of relationships and making choices, and I know that where that's at you, maybe this will help you, so let me explain it to you, right? How that's not very clear, but I want you to do better than that, right? Do you walk Donna through the model in an organized and linear fashion? That is, from step 1 to step 7, do you go through boom, 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 explaining each step in order and how they interrelate? Do you provide examples of each in the steps? So if I'm going to say, you know, things like, what rewards do you get? I know that Paul is a gentleman. He opens the door for you. He picks up the check at dinner, right? So this would be, I'm explaining what rewards are to Donna by using examples. Very important for someone to understand a model. Did you make sure to explain any difficult terminology in lay terms? So comparison level of alternatives, right, is probably going to go right over Donna's head because she wasn't sitting in class. So you're going to say comparison level of alternatives, and Donna, what that actually means in simpler terminology, and then you explain it, right, so that she'll understand it. And then finally, do you present her with a spiffy and concise conclusion and summary? So this is kind of a full-fledged paper for you guys, right? We've got it set up. There's an introduction in the beginning, and we've got a conclusion, and then we've got the body of the paper walking Donna through each step of the model using lay terminology connected to specific terminology, and then examples in each. So that is your mission for this assignment. I hope you enjoy, and that's it for this one. Bye.